anyone here? Luby, can you check if my live is working? Where? YouTube. Yeah. Okay. Are other people talking in it? Hey, I think it's just slow. It says there's 6 people in here. Okay. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I am going to... Hey, it's working. Hello, people. All right, so we have tea, we have reds, we have a brush, we have an airbrush, and I am... Hey, Josie. Jose, I should know better. I'm tired. Right, I'm going to be testing out our paint for you in this stream, and I thought what I should do was give the reds a go because it's such a common question. How are your reds? How they cover? You know, are they really red? Are any of them actually pink? All that stuff. So I'm going to jump in, and you please just keep suggestions and questions coming. If there's anything you would like to know about the range, I should definitely be qualified to answer. And hopefully the angle and the camera and the volume and stuff are okay. I think I'm positioned. All right, let's get going. So it can be tricky for me to see comments, but if I ignore something, unless you've been rude, just ask it again and I'll get you sorted out. I feel like... Okay. That should be... I haven't tried them in paint pens. They're all the rage at the moment though, aren't they? Let's give them a good shake. Okay, what I am going to do is I will quickly... What can I add in here? Start a poll, start a Q&A. I don't even know how that works. I'm not going to click that. That's scary. I have to abide by our own community guidelines. That seems fine to me. All right, and I don't even know if I can type in here. I don't think these are as well worked out as Instagram lives are. All right, we've got some more people in. I will, at some point, I'll work out what's going on. We are, yes, that is a statement, that's not a question. Narrative Nook. Yes, we are. So if I may be frank, we've picked that and we think that's absolutely doable. We would love to be able to bring them to Adepticon, which is at the very end of March. So there's no point. Hi, Pete. Welcome. So there's a very good chance that we manage to deliver them early. How much earlier than that, we don't know. Yes, Greys, in the English sense, we will have in the near future. Right, what I did on Instagram Live, which definitely works better than YouTube Live, I will say, functionally from my perspective at least, earlier this morning it went down really well, was I just took some questions. So if you've got any questions that you want answering, hi Michael, that is what I'm here for. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing stuff that I think you will think is useful, and hopefully it will be, and hopefully that also gives rise to thoughts or questions from you on the range. So let's just rock on. The people on Instagram were really helpful, and I'm sure you can be too. So I'm just going to start out with a prompt because it's the only question people ever ask. It's not the most important one. Pete has some of our paints. I know, lovely Pete. Hope DAB2, Dead Animal Bits 2 are going nicely for you, Pete. Right, I'm going to start out by just taking you through the selection of reds that we have. Gherkin and Marigold are paints that are really, other people just don't seem to have colors like that. And now that we've got them, I just don't see why you wouldn't. No one's quite got them. I'll show you them. Good. The questions have started rolling. Normally how it goes is the first ones get asked and then people kind of wade in. These are the two that I think are super special. They're both very warm colors. This has got some orange in it. This has got some yellow in it. If you highlight this with this goes nuts. It's really good for properly like sneaky night goblin flesh in the old school way. There will be in the future, yes. Good question. All right. All my things are slightly disjointed because I've got things in a little bit of a different place than normal. I think we got the water and stuff so we can go. Okay. So I should probably write which paints they are, but I've not left myself space. Look at that. Straight off the bat, this is Sangria. Hopefully you can see how incredible that color is. If you want anything closer to the camera or anything like that, just let me know. Look at that. Absolutely crazy. Just going to bring this up a little bit higher. Okay. All right, we got it. That's Sangria. That is wonderful. I should have planned this better, shouldn't I? Sangria. Oh, you're a backer already. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. So, I've lied. This is why I shouldn't multitask. That's claret. Upcoming is Sangria. What paint are you the most excited for, Amagus? All right. Claret's out. Now we have Sangria. People have said that they look quite thick. We have quite thin nozzles, and the paints haven't been overly thinned. You can do that because everyone thins their paints. And that means you get more out of each bottle, but it also means that none run the risk of being too runny, which is a risk. And there are big negatives. Okay, so hopefully what you're seeing here is the difference between the two. A little bit more reddy, a bit browny. Hi, Rob. You can use anything. Fantastic question. Literally anything. So I have this. I have X20, which is like the beloved Tamiyon for those of you not in the know. This is just absolutely outstanding. They're fine with anything. Note, but you can add your own shaker beads, and it's easy to remove the lids, or the nozzles rather. Some people don't want shaker beads, so we're not going to put them in because then we're forcing everyone to have them, but it's very easy for you to have them. We have a male-female nozzle. It's really nice, so it's kind of anti-leak, especially if you remember to do them up tight. And our nozzle has a particularly good squidge. Look at that. You see the degree of control that I'm getting with each of these? Is that got white in it, Pete? That sounds like a great question. I'm currently underqualified though to answer. Describe it to me. Has it got orange in it? Has it got yellow in it? Has it got white? Is it a bit dirty? I haven't used it. Sounds like I missed out. Look at that. That is cherry. A little bit stronger. Slightly higher coverage on cherry than we had on claret or sangria on the wines. And this is starting to get into the territory of something you'd use as base coat. More of a mid-tone. Pomegranate next. This and this is the dirty red with coverage. And it's got the most black in it out of any of our reds. So as you can see, it's quite useful testing on a paper with lines on it. It's going over all the lines. You could see the lines showing through these three. Absolutely not a chance with this. It's completely overpowering them. That's not always a good thing, but when you want it, you want it. So this is going to be quite a lot of people's kind of go-to, I would imagine. This is pomegranate, and you can start anything with this. Think of this as a Mephiston beater, I would say, and it definitely beats it. There will be something like this, which will be an optional add-on. It looks and feels expensive, and it's got quite a lot of weighty wood in it, so it's going to be an add-on one. So what you will get as a backer is you'll get a limited edition. We can call it like Founder Edition, cardboard and foam box, a really nice quality one. It'll open up like kind of like a picnic hamper, and you'll have your paints arranged like this, so you can see the labels, and like this on their backs, and you should be able to see everything there really nicely. This will be an optional add-on if you want to buy it. It isn't. Nothing is listed now. Thank you, Pete. Pete, you need to answer my vermilion question, or I might have missed your answer. What type of a color is it? Pendim. No, it's not listed yet. You'll be able to add it in the pledge manager. And the reason is we just wanted people concentrating on the paints and on the colors for now. But there's going to be quite a few things. You'll be able to get some limited edition livery or marquetry on brush sets too. And that'd be really cool, you know, because we'll make sure you know that you got something that says you were there and you were an original backer, because we appreciate you. Okay. Right. So now using chili, and we're getting really warm, maybe even slightly orangey, but you can see how punchy this is. Not as much coverage. By the way, good question about the plastic, but particularly on white with the lines, I want to give you the best clarity of information about how this color looks under dilution. And the other place that I'd be doing this is on white wet palette paper for the same reason, just so you can really see what it's like when it's been heavily diluted. You can also see that it's not splitting. And frankly, for the camera, it's easier. Well, you can add one, Pendim. Bright red, tiny hint of purple to it. Probably cherry in that case, I think. It's got a little hint. Claret has obviously got more of a hint to it, but it's not a bright one. It's a deep one, Claret. Right, we're heading for the crazy one now. I'll show you them on my palette though. Oh, it's hey, dude, we appreciate the comment about ridiculous names because we try to keep ours sensible. Okay, so this is Cardinal, and this is a special paint. I'll show you it on my palette too, but this has got quite a lot of white in it without being pink. Don't ask me how he managed. And yeah, it is punchy. It just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. This will cover surprisingly well over black. Yeah, I think cherry would be the one. Cherry's wonderful. I'll do a little bit of airbrushing in a second. Why not? Pendim, that's absolutely fine, mate. Any questions you got are all good. When the campaign ends, you'll be able to add stuff, and that'll be stuff that we can show you anything that we upload to the pledge manager, which is something that happens when the Kickstarter is completed. It's definitely not an intuitive system, so it's all good. And I appreciate you making us your first Kickstarter. All right, had a big slug of tea. So there are the reds. What we have, I'll have to write it at the top now. So we've got claret, sangria. Let's get it right this time. Cherry, pomegranate, definitely is. I might spell one of these wrong. Okay, that's our red so far. Oh, thank you. That's a very, very kind comment. Good question about the finish. So I'll note it down here. So we describe it as a soft matte or a heavy satin. It's very much in the middle. Oh, hello, Mr. Newness. How are you doing? New paints indeed. I think you'd like these. So we didn't want to go really full on. We've not gone super glossy satin and we've not gone super matte matte. And what this means is we have a very, very well-rounded range. So they will behave extremely well under heavy dilution. They glaze incredibly. I'll show you that in a second. They airbrush really well. They dry brush really well. Obviously, I'm not going to make or be involved in a range that doesn't. And if you're painting armies or you're painting super fancy, like Andy Wardle, who's just won a couple more demons, and Eric, who's just won a demon as well, and was using the paints that I gave him without telling me, which is very cool. But I wish he told me on his squad that got a bronze. Then yeah, you can achieve anything with them. They're absolutely fantastic. All right, I'll scoop some out now because the question about the, showing on a something more relevant was valid. Let's grab the brush and I'll show you this on a deep blue palette. It's not all about coverage, but Cardinal and Pomegranate will cover incredibly well. Cardinal is mental. Let me show you now because I got a blue palette. Thanks, Ninja. I appreciate it. You've done work already. Okay, so we've got Cardinal out now. Look at that. Absolutely mental. There's unbelievable coverage there. I've got a mini, I've got blue mini, same type of blue. So it's just diluted with a little bit of water. Let's see what we can do to him. He's had quite a rough life, this guy. Don't worry about him. So yeah, we're going to get coverage over a very dark blue, probably in 2 coats. This is not an ideal painting recording angle at all, by the way, so forgive me for using my brush in a slightly weird manner. But yeah, you can see the power of that already. A couple of coats, you'll be good. Really, really, really amazing coverage. It's techie. It's really, really nice. I still do not know or understand how this paint isn't white. In fact, next time I wash my brush in the water, I'll show you. You can see some of the white coming out in the water, but for some reason it just doesn't read as white on models. I'll show you now. Maybe this will show it better. See little bits of it in the swirls, perhaps, but it's so smooth and it's so bright without feeling too desaturated. It's just wonderful. Hey, it was wonderful to see you. I thought Games Workshop kicked your dog. Is that not the way around? We just need Dave to join us now. Okay, right. Let's go for a little bit of showing them blending together. So this is Chili and Cardinal, and this would be how you mix your way to more of a middle ground of a paint. This will cover again over anything, but it's going to be a little bit warmer and less cold than if it was Cardinal. I know it sounds strange to talk about reds as cold, but colder. So again, a couple of coats is going to be fine. Obviously, through the airbrush, this is going to do a lot pretty fast. Hey, you are most welcome. It was a pleasure having you around. I need to be able to attach. I probably know who you guys are by your entries, but I can't tell from YouTube names. So yeah, here's a couple of test points here. Just wonderful. I'll go for a bit more YOLO painting. So bear in mind that this is one of the coverage ones mixed with one of the non-coverage ones. We are simply just fine. I do know how to use a brush, guys. It's just I set this up for like testing on paper on my desk. It should work out okay for airbrushing, which I would like to show you. Yeah. Right. Let me now show you the power, because people are asking about coverage, but I don't think that's all that matters. I'm going to show you the power of using a paint that has lower coverage. And this is Claret, and this is One Sexy paint. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, so you can probably see how deep and wine-like it is there on my palette. What we're going to do though is we're going to mix it with some of this. And from that, it just lets us properly push down the color towards something. I don't know what it is, but it's fruity. Look at that. Okay, so that's this plus these two. You could just use one of them. It doesn't matter too much, but my point is how wonderful it looks. Oh, yes, Pete. I love it. I'm so pleased. That's exactly what I used on my Trench Crusade figure, and I thought you'd like it. Watch me paint without a dry brush. Hey, I can be a two-trick pony now. Right, let's take sangria. And we're just going to do some general mixing. So sangria's got a bit more brown in it, and you can already tell that it's dirtied things off a bit. It doesn't make it bad, just it makes it different. Can imagine this being a base for rust or something like that. And now it's time for us to have a little bit more of a play. How did you find, what did you use for highlighting, Pete? Because presumably you didn't use one of ours for the highlight. I don't think I sent you a highlight color. What did you end up with the final steps for your raptors? Okay, right. Get me some questions and I'll turn on my airbrush. I sat my chair leg on my hose, so it's going to sound like it's refilling very often. Something is wrong if it sounds wrong. It's been a little while since I've used it. Okay, does anyone have any questions while I'm fiddling around with machinery? Oh, my broken hose might have died. Hey, there we go. Okay, we're good. We have a very tired hose. I'll just use some very, very industry normal Vallejo, as we call it in England, thinner, and we'll see how it goes. Pete does excellent bolt action videos. Okay, a couple of drops of thinner. I'll pick a sad brush. I think I've got a designated sad brush currently. I have, and we'll go for what should we make the most of? Okay, I'm going to go for the crazy coverage one. Okay, so cardinal. Like just in terms of viscosity, you asking that question? We're on the slightly thicker side, not in an unhelpful way. In fact, I think it's all helpful. But do you mean general behavior, or does the viscosity affect how we are in comparison? We will sell singles and sets. This is Bulgarian knitwear. It's the real deal. Thank you. You should see my slippers. Okay, I need a little bit more paint than I put in. I used to be so good at judging how much goes into the cup of my airbrush, but I must say I'm out of practice. Does anyone know about side loading? Thank you. All right, so if you put it in the side of your cup, it helps make sure that it doesn't drift down until it's properly mixed. If you're a lazy cup mixer, if you're a good mix elsewhere mixer, and you've been following Ankel's rules rather than mine, then you're good. I literally just, my tea just got some paint in it. It happens. Got you. Okay. All right, so like I said, I have a slightly unhappy airbrush hose. Let's see how fast this goes though. Yeah, it's not going to take long, is it? How's the volume, by the way, of the airbrush? So what you should be able to see, Valley Joe, exactly. So what you should be able to see is that it's been a while since I've airbrushed and I've gone a bit heavy, but it's making quite a difference, quite fast, even though I've really heavily diluted it. And you can tell that it's got white in it. It's just doing more than a red should, really. Also see that where I layered it up solo, I'm still not that bright. So you can hand base coat really well. Yeah, it is pretty good. It's nuts. Wait for it. I'm going to hair dry. I'm very sorry, but it's cold in the UK and my mini needs to be drier. Any more questions about specifics of ranges or anything like that? I think someone asked before, how would I compare it to other ranges? I can't remember the ranges that you said. But I'll presume you're going to ask about Games Workshop or AK. In terms of AK, we've not tried to standardize our finish as much as they did. And their third gen acrylics are outstanding. You know, they really have set a bar for the quality of paint, I think, out the European brands at least. They're very, very good. So we're aware that there's something we need to beat or be a complement to. And I think we've kind of done a little bit of both. So we've got varied finishes within our range, and we've considered each paint individually, rather than trying to standardize the lot towards some, similar goals. So it's not like every paint in our range has the same coverage or the same viscosity. We started from the same base, but we thought it was more sensible and more powerful, and it fitted with what we wanted more, to just make every paint be the best it can possibly be in its own right. I can show you one of the yellows over. I can show you mustard in a second. Great questions. No, it isn't. This will be a paid edition. This is this is an expensive piece, and it's got an expensive weight to it as well. So it would even affect the shipping if it was part of the normal pledge. Now you'll be able to pay for something like this. This is a prototype. We will make sure that anything we do in the campaign does say Founders Edition on it, though. So whatever you add or option you go for, you'll be getting something that at least exists only in that livery and that style once. So you will be getting limited edition only by backing the Kickstarter. Even if you order multiple pledges, there will be limited edition ones. Okay. Hopefully you can see how red my guy is. Which one? Maybe mustard. Yeah, that's a good description, Pete. I think they all come out very smoothly. We have some satin ones, some that are more satin than others within the range, and that definitely won't feel AK, but I think for the ones that have got kind of a similar finish, maybe we're a tad smoother. And we haven't pushed coverage on everything. We've pushed coverage on the ones that we thought it was a good idea to. Okay, hopefully you can see this guy's... I've got a little bit more used to my airbrush now, but also I had a satin primer down, and sometimes you just need to lay a foundation of your paint to put your paint over when repeating. And he is looking great. Okay. Thanks for answering my questions. I'll be pledging, and you'll be shipping to... We love you in Australia. We've been doing morning streams, by the way, and we'll continue them, especially for you guys. Nice to catch you. How do they taste? Okay. Not bad. They smell quite nice too. No, Steve, because... Well, I'll show you an example in a second. It's not beginner specific to have all your range be exactly the same finish. It's just easy to market. Okay, and shadows being a little bit shinier and highlights being a little bit whiter is, in any range, is at a fine level, is basically unavoidable. Like, as your paint has more white in it, it's going to end up being more matte. And the only way to really counter that is to have every paint be ultra, ultra, ultra matte. But still, if your paint has more white in it, it's going to be more matte. And then if you put more deep blue in it, it's gonna lean slightly towards it anyway. So all ranges have variation. It's just we've embraced it for the good rather than seen it as a negative. I'll show you in a second because I'm going to get out a blue and I'll undershade this. And I'm not doing anything techie here. This is pretty beginner friendly stuff. I've only used one color so far. I've not used any blending, although of course we encourage people to mix and blend if they want. Delivery will definitely be next year, but we might deliver sooner than the May that we've said. I think it was May that we said. Okay, so hopefully you can agree that over blue-black, that has gone pretty well. Let me move my lighting situation a little. Look at that. Pendim. That is, I was going to use a blue, but both of those are exactly the type of things that I was going for. Guys, vote on a deep blue or a violet undershade. I think I can run a poll. Maybe I'll run a poll, actually. Yeah, I do have examples of the label. So what they're going to do, this is a prototype, but it's going to tell you the family name. So like reds or teals, reds. In the teals, it'll even split those teals into greens and blues to help you out. Honestly, this model is amazing. One of the best in Trench Crusade. This paint is going and going and going. We're nearly done now. I'll just use it till it's done. Ah, okay, now I get you. So if you check out our Kickstarter video, you'll see Andy moving paint around a lot. It's normally Andy on the wet palette. And you can just tell from how it moves around that it has a nice flow to it. It's got a wonderful feel and it just works fantastically with a brush. So I do know exactly what you're saying. Got to feel good, right? We are artistes. It's all about the feel. We highly prioritized our range being nice to use. Above and beyond anything but color. Yes, mate. Pomegranate is a Mephiston beta, I would say. Old Mephiston too. For those of you in the know. We have a higher level of vibrancy in ours, I would say. But to make some positive comparisons to Citadel, we've got an orange that is definitely a bit more Troll Slayer, so it's not all about the coverage, but it's just a wonderfully pure orange. It's really nice to use, and it's also forgiving for blending. And, I'll end up talking about coverage a lot. It's not all about coverage. While we've got some absolutely nuts coverage reds in here, we can bring back our crazy coverage, very good coverage, less, much less. Okay, it's not all about the coverage. Alex, I love you, but you're a knobhead. They're not my gym jams. They are my working from home day doom pink trousers. I'll take it. That's Alex Dos Santos, Slayer Sword winner, teasing me there for my clothing choices, by the way. A green stream, you're absolutely campy. I'm happy to, we are happy. We are very, very confident with our range. Can anyone tell that my airbrush needs cleaning from that spray, by the way? Bad. I'll show everything. I'm going to do a live tomorrow morning on Instagram, 8 till 9, like I did this morning. And I'm going to do that every single day this week. I'm waking up early for you guys. Also trying to catch you before you start work or on your commute. And some of the Aussies, of which we have many. And we appreciate. And yeah, I'll try and do a morning one tomorrow as well. They are silky smooth. They are satin smooth, and it just makes them outstanding for dry brushing. They are crazy to dry brush. Don't get me wrong. Some of them that have more white in are comparatively more difficult, but our most difficult ones for dry brushing and for like heavy dilution are still what I would regard as like an industry standard 8.5 out of 10. Marmalade is sexy as all hell. Okay. Feldgrau, Death Gardish Green. Oh, you could definitely make one. I don't know if we specifically have one, but there's some extremely useful colors in here for that. All right, I'm terrible at being able to multitask, so you guys are gonna have to vote now. Place your bets. We have these are both more vibrant than they look. Do you want deep blue or violet to be airbrushed from underneath at our red man? I'll show you them on here too, because any excuse to show these two paints is a very good excuse. All right, that's one violet. I'm going to put violet out and you'll all instantly be like violet, but please, if you're waiting for my squidge, wait until I've squidged both. We had some, these have come back from travel, and I'm just conscious that I don't want any ones that blocked due to being left open on the table to have explosions on stream, because I would be embarrassed. Oh no, we would have been fine. No harm in being overly careful, right? Okay, there's violet. I won't spread it out yet because okay, I mean, whatever I do, it's going to be violet, right? That's fine. That's cool. Does anyone have the ability to link the Kickstarter? I cannot work out how to talk with chat because I'm an idiot. I prefer Instagram lives to YouTube lives. A mix would be cool, actually. All right, I'm going to have to show you in a relatively small space, but here is violet. Oh my lordy. Look at that. Beautiful. Pull a bit more of it down. Nuts. And then are you guys sure you want violet? Which one? That's worth a lot these days, Pete. That's £20 a bottle. Did you know? Okay, so that changed people's minds a bit. I'll give it a bit of time. Okay, I think people are committing to violet. That's okay. I love violet. I just wanted to give you the opportunity. The left. Okay, then. All right, let's go. We have a slug more of my tea. It is gorgeous, and I can promise you that Midnight is going to be one of my most used paints. It absolutely is not me not using that paint much is not a risk, and it's already my most used undercoat. Well, since it's no longer in production, that took me a while to say, didn't it? Yeah, it's definitely gone up. The best silver that ever was. Although their new thingy colors, BSLs done with Angel, are extremely good, I will say. I've only used one of them, but I was impressed, and it has similar behavior. Okay, right. Let's get our violet. I think my dilution should be all right. I don't want it too strong here. Show you guys in my hand. Yeah, that's probably too weak. I always have this when I've not airbrushed for a little bit. Okay, right. Let me show you a little bit. It might be. Look at that, look at this. Okay, it's a nice color. All right, for you, those of you, I'm actually gonna protect my lovely case. So from below. So this is a low coverage paint, FYI people. Everyone who has been told that coverage is the be all and end all, you're about to see why that's not the case. And this is a lovely paint because it doesn't have good coverage. It's forgiving for blending, it's forgiving for mixing, it's deeper, and because this is that little bit more satin, all of those traits are exaggerated, including the ones that are to do with it being nicer to use as a painter and just on the palette. Anything like that, we're just going to build it up. And of course, if you don't want it to be satin, you can just pump down a varnish afterwards. So I'm just using angle here. I'm using an egg, of course, and hopefully you should see that it's starting to take effect. Now I really diluted it, so I can probably go a bit stronger because I don't want you guys thinking that it is impossibly weak. I just had my ratio off by one, either one too many thinner or one too few. I'll show you some of the military ones we've got after this. Get out the drab ones. Yeah, it's not everything. It really isn't. You sacrifice a load of other huge positives. And don't get me wrong, we've got some crazy coverage paints, but they're the ones that we wanted to cover crazily or that naturally want to cover crazily. Can we see this shading starting to take place now? I could be faster than this, but frankly, I haven't airbrushed for a little bit, so it might be a bit too YOLO. Yeah, I knew you'd be in there, Mr. Dunkelgelb. I think, so there was actually a really nice review of our Kickstarter page that went up from Lords of War Hobbies, who are a Canadian store. And they're both experienced painters. I think both experienced army painters rather than display painters, but one of them's beaten me to best army when I went to America. Chris, very, very good painters. And they were saying that they think the browns are the strongest part of the range. And while people aren't going to talk about them, they're the most useful. And I might agree with that. So I'll show you some browns in a second. I'll dump in some more paint into this and show you it on like strong mode. The best color neighbors are German. I don't think we quite ended up German. Maybe halfway between like British and French sensibilities with our names. They're very practical, but we got a lot of flowers and nature in there. So yeah, I don't know what country naming style we would be by people's estimations. Cabbage. Maybe cabbage is just British, right? Could be cabbage in French. Okay. Right, so there's going to be more here. All right, let's see what we can do. Yep, it's a lot stronger, so I need to be a bit more careful. But what's happening here is because my paint is naturally quite weak, it's really easy for me to build up these layers without overpowering things, and it's wonderful. I can even do stuff like aim at the ridge of his hat without too much risk. All right, so hopefully we can see he is looking pretty cool. You also adore me and Andy. They are acrylic. Let me see if I've missed anything. Guys, your questions are excellent. Hexen, don't be cheeky. Lords of War convince you to back the Kickstarter. Well, I should send them thanks then. Yeah, I've got the new Trench Crusade models. Actually, I'm a lucky boy. I got their plastics. So there's a chance that I will be testing some of these out. Maybe some of those drab colors that other people have been talking about, as well as Pete. Maybe that's where they'll get use. Okay, right, I'm going to blast through this now. A bit more extreme, a bit less subtle. That's okay though. And yeah, there we go. Looking pretty cool, pretty red, and he's got that violet aspect to him. All right, I'll just jettison the rest of this. That even looks even looks good on a tissue. Right, favorite colors. That would be probably time for me to talk about Gherkin, which seems to happen every stream, but I like getting that question. Hi, Chris. That is violet, and it's violet over cardinal, which is I don't know, it's like it almost looks like trippy and fluoro-ish in a couple of ways. It's just cardinal's got a load of white in it, and that does crazy stuff. I'm going to show you one more thing beforehand though. So let's get out claret. Would people rather see me glaze this manually or airbrush filter it? Not metallics yet. Good question. Excellent question. So this is claret. This is this sexy MF. Do you want me to manually glaze it, or do you want me to airbrush it? Whatever is the most useful for you guys is what I will do. Okay, Pete said glaze. Pete can't be wrong because he's so lovely. So let's do that. Right, airbrush is off the table. This does mean also we can turn off my leaky hosed air compressor and have a bit of peace. Manual, good. There is consensus. I don't feel bad now for my huge bias towards lovely Pete. So this is claret. This is possibly my second favorite color in the range after Gherkin, and these two happen to go well together. You can put something in the middle. Pete's been doing that for his Raptors, and I'm sure his are going to look lovely. It's a really good combo. So, okay, this might be a bit much. I might need to tone it back by adding a red, but what we're going for is kind of manual filtering. People keep asking about how they are under really heavy dilution as well. And I think that's because a lot of paints behave worse under heavy dilution these days because they're so strong, but this is not a mega strong paint. And this is what I meant when I spoke about kind of just treating each paint individually in its own right, rather than standardizing across the range. And this is why that's not just for advanced painters and not for beginners. Like, this is better for this because it's weaker and deeper. So let's go. Where are we putting it? Can I zoom? Okay, has that made things any worse or better? Please let me know if I've made your viewing experience worse as a result of doing that. There we go. So I'm just going to whack a glaze down. And what I've done now is that white that is present in cardinal, I've removed. I've just filtered over it, and you can see I'm doing pretty lazy glazing here. I got the consistency right, but I'm going YOLO. And it's fine. It's just all good. Is that showing up? It's good, thank you. No, it'll be indicated on minicolor.com, where we can give you the right amount of information, which is more rather than less. We'll also have tutorials, which will be various tutorials. Again, more information, better than less, so you can pick. So you're going to be able to be like, oh, I want to paint a Blood Angel fast, you know, follow Byron's quick dry brushing Blood Angels tutorial, or I want to win Golden Demon with, you know, the sexiest Farsia diorama ever, and then you'll be able to follow Andy's. So there'll be everything on there. I went too heavy with that glaze there, but it's okay. Take a bit more care. Just remove some. There we go. So even Slapdash, you can see how well they're glazing. Like, this is a joke. It should not be so easy to get a glaze to behave exactly how you want it to at a large scale on quite a rough model as well. Like, I've added texture to this and it was already a textured model. And you can see that my YOLO glazing is going fine. We're going to end up with something that looks absolutely crazy here. Is that coming across? I love that about the combination chart. So what we are going to do on minicolor.com is we're going to give you serving suggestions. So let's say you pick up, where did I put it? Right, you pick up claret. Minicolor.com will say, not only this is a deep saturated color, lighter on coverage and higher on luminosity, if you want your painty terms or like your wine description, ironically, but it'll tell you, you compare it with chili if you want it for really punchy Blood Angels, and then link you to a video, or it will tell you, go surprisingly well with fern. So there'll be a huge amount of actual useful information, as long as you trust myself, Andy, or Henry. That is, there'll be a shit. That was too strong. There'll be a huge amount of information on there, and you can just pick whatever application or speed or difficulty it is you want, and there'll be something on there for you for each color, as well as the normal stuff like this is a strong one, this is a brighter one, this is a weaker one, this contains more white, this contains more orange. Everything will be on there. And that means that we're not tied to putting like a bar chart on a bottle, which is going to lead to reductive information and lower quality information. And some people will not buy a paint because it says 2 out of 5 for coverage, when actually it's exactly the paint they need. So that's why we're taking that approach. Good question though. Right, let me, while he's drying, let me see what I've missed. If your tiny nozzle clogs, you can use one of these. They're very affordable. All right, what questions do we get? Chris, it is. It really is. Honestly, it's only the fact that I added texture to him that is making it so it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's been used and abused. Look at the quality of that red. Crazy, right? I'll dry it out as well. It's the same once it's dried. Yeah, these will guarantee a Golden Demon win. I will go out there and say that. And it is Trench Crusade Baymax. Hype has already started. We'll keep the hype going as well. That's a nice question, Kington. How did Artis Opus and Cult of Paint come together to create a paint range? Well, believe it or not, I gave Mr. Still his first airbrush demo, and then he went on to win a Golden Demon and be better than me with an airbrush. And then I met Andy and Henry together like a few years later, and we have been friends ever since. We've been friends for a long time. They are lovely. Hey, that's lovely about the names. Let me show you a bit of edge highlighting. Why not? Okay, actually, I mean, I'm going all over the place. Let me dry this. My painting area is cold. The UK is cold currently. And we're saving putting our heating on until next month because we're British. I will paint Space Marines with these paints. I absolutely will. Okay. I've only got a 4 out, but I'm sure we can do a little bit of edge highlighting. Often people got questions about the white. Ours is very usable and user-friendly. We didn't go for max strength, so definitely don't throw away your Bold Titanium White from Pro Acryl because it is amazing at what it does. But ours mixes beautifully. I'm only going to use a little bit sparingly. Could also get out papaya. Joe, that is what a good question, Joe. We will try. We'll make our own airbrush thinner. And there is debate amongst me and Henry currently of whether having a matte thinner and a satin thinner is a good idea for airbrush, and we think it is. We think that's an excellent idea. We'll work on it very soon. So yeah, we're thinking things along those lines. Don't worry. You can get gardener soap that has sand grains in it. I'd recommend it. If you want to get paint off, just a bit of abrasion, never hurts. But also, I don't think a bit of paint hurts, and my left hand's constantly got paint on it. All right, so we put out chili, which is our warm boy. It's just, look at that, it's crazy. We might not need anything currently, but let's. I kind of want to do some glazing, but we'll do a little bit of edge highlighting. Are we on camera? Are we on focus on camera? Very different things. Going to be a little bit inventive here. So hopefully you can see how fast you could get something kind of battle ready standard. With or without airbrush as well, you can absolutely do it without. There are plans for metallics, correct. So flesh tones and metallics are going to be they are the obvious early candidates for things that we should do or consider. Unsurprisingly, I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should get the dry brush out and do some stippling, but we'll resist for a bit, right? Still putting down some really bold colors. Suggest that he's lit from this side. Hopefully this will add up. Are there any more questions while I'm going? We have successfully turned a man very red indeed at this point. So hopefully there's no doubt that our reds are indeed red. We did some covering over blue-black at the beginning, worked out really well. And now I'm just trying to put down some volume-ish highlights, which once they've dried should look a little bit less severe. Do you have an explanation for doing this? I'll answer it as many times as it's going to be useful, which I think is a lot for a lot of people, dude. So I'm happy to answer it again. So we are between what you'd call a soft matte or heavy satin. So it's not like we're extremely far away from matte, but we're not an extreme matte. And what that means is that it's easier. We're not extreme coverage either, unless the paint wants to. So that means we've got a lot of paints that are just more helpful for blending in the range, and they're a little bit more forgiving for highlights. They work very, very well with the airbrush. They work perfectly with a wet palette if you use one of those, which a lot of people do. And essentially, we feel that it's just allowed us to be, ironically, to be a little bit more well-rounded. And it's also allowed us to achieve a lot out of not many paints because we've got quite different behavior because we're not overly standardized. It's a small range we've got. A lot of other people have got very good, very large ranges, and we're starting small at the very least. And we felt that it allowed us to get the most out of each of those paints. I could go and use one of the strong, more matte ones that we've got and show you. Could use cappuccino or something because I love it. But yeah, like how fast this has gone. I could sit down with anyone and a beginner could achieve this. And it's a really cool looking result. This was some chipping and a little bit more of a punchy edge highlight if you wanted, or some dry brushing would look absolutely amazing. Would you consider doing an in-person live lesson for backers? We would maybe do that. There are debates about whether we do an option for people to join and get their pledges in person at like a launch party. We're just working out if that is possible. And in that situation, people would be getting demos as much as they want and stuff like that. Yes, Hexen. And just adding in, oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Aaron. Just so I'll talk about pigmentation because it's a good point you brought up. Simply adding in more pigment is not the same thing as making your paints only better. You're making them stronger, but generally speaking, there's a sacrifice, and often that sacrifice is in usability and like joy of use too. Like, is it nice to use? Is it well rounded? I love airbrushing my Tamiya paints. I think they're the best airbrushing paints in the world that I've used anyway. And I know that I can't use them with a brush. And that is sad because I would love to be able to use Decktown with a brush, but I can't. And you can do anything with ours. They're really well rounded. So that was part of why we didn't go down the just add more route. And actually, there's a few paints, even some of our coverage paints that I've said have got amazing coverage. Pomegranate, we had an even heavier coverage version of, and we backpedaled because you don't need more coverage than that. And the more coverage version, it just didn't behave as nicely. It was a little bit less user friendly, and it was definitely less smooth. I am using a large currently, but I personally prefer the medium. Good question. He's a big boy, so he looks, he's making it look smaller than it is. The goose is quite big. That's what I'm using. Yeah, no worries. Hey, random task. I should have said that several times already. Thank you so much. Yeah, we've got really high durability as well, and we've got a good working time. And often, if you think of a varnish, like the most tough varnish takes forever to dry and is very shiny. Not that we're very shiny, but when you've got more satin paints, you do have more durability. And indeed, for gaming, it's a real plus if you got slightly more durable paint, or it doesn't reactivate, or it doesn't rub off, or something like that. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a softer version of the color that I have been using, and I'm just going to glaze towards it in a really lazy way, and that should help pull these highlights together a bit. I just like it being bottom heavy and stable. Also, you can airbrush onto it like a lazy Susan, which is a real plus. They're wonderful. I like them so much. Very, very pleased with them. Chris is in chat, who is he's the person who convinced me that we should make them out of resin rather than wood. which was well worth it. From that point, the project kind of jumped ahead, and they are perfect. They're so simple, they're just really useful. Oh man, we just had so many favorite colors that over the years. Really good question, excellent, thank you. You guys have asked very good questions. So we had colors like old snakebite, not that we have a snakebite equivalent, and what made those special was the fact that they had all these different things going on. I can maybe do a better job of explaining this with an example. So old snakebite, if you added black, it turned into like this crazy green, and if you added like ivory, it went into this beautiful yellowy version. And there were just these really interesting colors that were wonderful to use, that didn't have like huge weak points, and we missed them, and that was part of it. But also we felt that there was maybe in recent years what's marketable had been confused with what is good, or being presented as the only thing is good. Because, you know, once Citadel brought out base paints, everyone was like, coverage is the thing, you know, because everything follows GW in this industry. And we didn't feel that coverage was the only thing. And we thought that if we didn't push for just that, maybe we could get better colors out. And we love cool colors. So now I'm gonna talk to you about gherkin. This might be one of the last things I do. So get the questions in before I head off. Right. Oh dear. It's gonna happen at some point, wasn't it? Whoops. Okay, gherkin's gonna be demonstrated on this side of the page so I don't cover myself in. I said we had good drying, good working times. They've been put down on paper, and they're still wet, although the UK's humidity and coldness is helping currently. Right, this is gherkin. Gherkin is an absolute banger. What makes this amazing is that it's got quite a bit more yellow in than you would think. It's a little bit dirty, but not much. I've done a terrible job of spreading it out. That's better. Okay, right. This Nurgle appropriate, it's like filthy and just alive and vibrant and amazing. And that's because it's got different things going on. It's not a pure pigment. It's not just one pigment. But what we can do is we can highlight it or mix it with different things. So if I take some gherkin and some claret, I'm going to end up with really strange stuff. What on earth is that? We don't know, but we like it. And the variety of different colors within this one, and the flexibility of its use, and the fact that we've prioritized it being able to mix with other colors easily, kind of encourages that. It just makes them all really, really great to use. So we had a lot of colors like that we wanted to hit. Another one is marigold, and this, like, I don't like, life without this color is just sad. Again, we didn't go crazy on coverage. This has got quite a lot of orange or red in it. Still yellow, but my God, is it one hell of a yellow. So yeah, not crazy on the coverage, but watch what happens when it plays with gherkin. What is that? It's just amazing color. It just makes you think of life. Any view on contrast? We are not planning contrast or things like that for now. We will give you loads of combinations on mini color. So it'll say like claret goes well with leaf, and it'll say that on claret and leaf's listing. So and maybe you'll have some videos of us showing it too. Traditional acrylic paints. So we'll give you all the best combos. Did you name marigold after the flower or the rubber gloves? But I think the flower, given our other stuff. I'll have to check with Andy though. Can't imagine Andy and marigold. Maybe it's probably the flower. He likes the woods and the outdoors. Him and Henry came up with the names. They need credit for that. All right then. So that's been a nice demo of everything. Whoops. Do people have any further questions about the campaign, add-ons, pricing, shipping, Space Marines? I don't know. Here's our guy, by the way. This is where he ended up. He is super vibrant. He might be a bit much, honestly. He needs dirtying. Oh yeah, we got some teals. I love answering that question. Thank you. So we've got jades and teals. And what we have here, I'll mix these on the palette because I've done this before and it looks great. Okay, Jade, Spearmint, Verdigris. We'll send our Trench Crusade model over. Chris, he's broken so many times, if you're still here, that he was Gorilla Glued back together today. I just embraced the Gorilla Glue texture. This is something that was actually designed with POS in mind because it presents so well. So we are thinking about the retailers. We're always thinking about the retailers. Subject close to our hearts. It's not triads. We don't think people need triads. We think again that maybe they're a bit more marketable than they are useful. We're going to give people ideal color combos and videos, but a lot of the ranges will have, so they're broken into sixes, and it'll be like the 6 reds or the cool greens or the warm greens or stuff like that. So we're going to have helpful naming just to make it easier for you. Right. See how these badass colors look on the palette. You can tell I like them because my palette's already got so much of them on. All right. So that was Jade. Then we've got Spearmint. I'm just going to blob them together and you can enjoy it. And then we've got Turquoise. Sorry, Verdigris. It's been a long day, guys. Hopefully I've still been useful. Look at those. Verdigris is, unsurprisingly, very good for being Verdigris. It's beautiful. This has got quite a lot of white in it, so this is a good example. It's one of those ones that's just going to be way more punchy than you would think. If you try and base coat a random area, this is going to look terrible. You can carry on wondering that, Sean. There you go, like 1 coat coverage of that. Almost 1 coat coverage. Pretty crazy, right? So the paints that want to do this, we've lent into it, but some just don't, and they would be worse. A lot of people want to play with this one. Pete, it's been wonderful. Thank you for joining in. Appreciate you. And enjoy the ones we've sent. I look forward to seeing your raptors. Send me some pictures. We are going to have some brush sets. We'll have some storage solutions. We'll have a bunch of AO products. We'll probably add the Cult of Paint airbrushes from Harder and Steenbeck. All the type of things that you'd expect from AO. And wherever possible, like literally if there is space and it's something we make, we'll make sure that it has some denotation of being like a founder edition, a Kickstarter backer one, or stuff like that. So you'll have something that's limited edition and makes you feel special. Yeah, it'd be great over a green primer. Absolutely nuts. Crazy through the airbrush too. It's like a borderline too strong. We had to rein this one back actually. 2 maximum. All right. I think we're there unless I get a little wave of questions. Thank you very much for joining in. As normal, I haven't painted as much as I thought I would in the stream, but hopefully we gave you some really good examples. All the colors, particularly the reds, took you through the lower coverage but higher intensity of color ones. Through our coverage middles, our warmest one, and then cardinal that contains white, so it's got crazy coverage. And then we used cardinal over a deep blue base with airbrush, and it just went over it super easily. And then we filtered it with claret after spraying violet from below. All easy stuff. It will be a social post. Good eye. Okay then, thank you very much for joining, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Any of you who are Kickstarter backers, thank you very much. And those of you who are not, head on over. It'd be worth backing the Kickstarter if you're at all interested. It's an ideal range to add to other stuff that you have. Nice, Mike. So if you've got other ranges and you're on the fence, like you really like your AKs, these aren't going to render those redundant, but they are going to be a really ideal comparison to them, or addition to them. And yeah, any more questions you've got, head over to the Kickstarter, ask them there, or ask us under social media posts on any platform, and we'll do our best to get back to you. Good night, Chris. All right, good night, the rest of you. I will be doing more of these. Please follow us on Instagram. Instagram's nicer for them. It's just they are of a higher quality, actually, and it's easier for me to interact and post links and things and do polls, because I'm bad at multitasking. So thank you very much. All right, good night. How do we stop? Bye-bye.